Hello guys, welcome along to an Xbox pickup video. So this will be my second pickup video for November for the Xbox 360. I've got 10 games here, which is pretty good, and just a couple of sports ones, and the rest are pretty decent. So let's go on. First of all, got a new standee in the background here. It's the All-Star Battle Royale, but it's got the Ratchet on it. It's actually my father-in-law's, Kenny's. He's a Ratchet and Clank freak, and he's gone for a full collection. He's got all the games except for one, and he wants the strategy guides and all this kind of stuff. We were talking to the Sony guy who was in our local game store, and we're in there a lot, so we kind of know the manager and that, and the guys that work in there. And the manager introduced us to the Sony guy who was putting up posters and putting up new displays for the Wonder Book, and so we got talking to him, and we're talking about the new Ratchet game coming out, Q-Force, is that right? It's been delayed, asked him why, you know, this kind of stuff, and what he did say is you'll have a look in his car, his van, and he did say it, I think he's got a couple of posters for so my father-in-law went back doing, you know, a couple of days later, and they actually left this for him, which is really good because this game is just out, or it's coming out soon. Obviously I've got the games room, so he's kind of donated it to me, so I've kind of got it on long term kind of loan until he can get something sorted out. And but I'll keep it up here, no smoking that in here, so it'll be well looked after. So I've kind of adopted it, got that. Also, I don't know if you'll be able to see, let's have it, I'll bring you over. There's a Grand Theft Auto 5 poster, you see. Well, that's given out if you pre-order the game. If you put a £5 deposit on the game, you get a free poster. But because we know the manager, and she gave us one, double-sided. Obviously I've got the kind of female there getting arrested. The other side's a guy. I can't mind what it's. I think it's a black guy or a whatever it is. It's a guy, but obviously I've got the female. Obviously there. Just wanted to show you that. So that was really good. Add to the games room. Right, let's show you the games. That's what we're here for, So let's show you two games that I picked up, which I really needed. Well, what as opposed to just about needing them. But this game, PES 2011, 99 pence. Brilliant. That's excellent because it's $7.99, or even it's more expensive in the kind of game station. But I got it for Cash Generator, 99 pence, superb. It is complete. Really decent game. Because I knew 2011 they started to get goody, that's when it got really good, and then I bought 2012. I've not got the 13 yet, but I was playing the Champions League in this already, and it's really good because they've got the Champions League and they've got the Europa League, so they've got all the proper music and advertising and all that kind of stuff, so really good. Still play online with that. And I've also got the 2010 World Cup, and I'd stated in my last video this is the only one I needed to complete. I've not got FIFA 13, but I've got them all up to 12. You know, the 06 World Cup, this World Cup, the Austria European Championship, and then the last European was just a digital. I never noticed though, this was only 49 pence. Great, because it's like £8 or something in game. And I never looked. I don't know why I looked at his name manual, but I thought, oh, for 49 pence, I'm no caring. It's no a great game. I put it on, have a wee shot. Did I put it on? I can't mind if I did put it on. I might have put it on. But who cares about that? I'm not going to be too fussy about that. Right, so they're the two sports games, so that's them out of the road. Excellent, so the rest are pretty decent. Okay, Street Fighter 4. I got this for $4.99. I think it was $4.99. So I thought, that's a decent price. I'm not a big Street Fighter fan. I mean, I know Street Fighter is a huge franchise. It's a lot of people, Street Fighter 2 is their favourite game. I've never been a fighting fan, and I've played Street Fighter 2, and you know, I'd seen Street Fighter 4 on YouTube and that, and it looks really, really nice, say, with the graphics. And it is a really good game. I had done the mistake by waiting to the single player or arcade. I must have said yes when you got the option, can you get challenged, and I just went yes. I didn't even know what that meant. So I remember picking my first fight. I picked one of my guys, and then I was fighting somebody, and then all of a sudden this challenger came in, and I went, oh, okay, and I fought him and kicked my butt. And then I realised it was actually a guy that was online. It came in, and you can tick that and say yes. So these guys can interrupt you when you're playing arcade to come in. It's only a player match, and I've played a few matches online because I've picked Ken and tried to learn his moves. Really, really nice game. Really good graphics. The colours are brilliant. It's a good price. Morph X. Now, I went down to London a couple of weeks ago, and we were at the Camden Market area. That's where our hotel was. And then, so at Camden, they've got their kind of normal shops. So they've got a lot of charity shops there. And so I went around looking at the charity shops. I've looked nothing in the charity shops. But they had a couple of game stores. They had the CEX, so I went to CEX. This was like $2.99, $1.99 even. I'd never heard it, so I picked it up. It's an alright game. I put it on. It's one of these games. I mean, when you look at the scores are really bad. But when I put it on, it was one of these games. I put it on to have a try, and I ended up playing it for a good hour and a half because I kind of liked it. It was easy. It was. It's a first person shooter, and you've got this kind of alien technology, and you're half alien and all this kind of stuff. But it was alright. This one, also, I've never heard of this. It's called Raven Squad. It's one of these other games that are got a low score in the Metacritic. I think this has got like 30 out of 100 average score. I found this really, really interesting when I first started playing it. I mean, I never looked at the scores when I first put it on. When I first put it on, it's a mixture of a first person shooter and RTS, and I thought, oh, I wonder how that works. Works really, really well, actually. And it's just a case, so you've got your squad. I think eventually you end up having 2 squads, but I just played the first part, which is really just your training thing. But you've got your squad, just 4 years, and you can change in between your 4 characters by pressing a button. And you've just got the first person shooter, so you can see your hand, your gun, you can walk about and all this kind of stuff. And you've got to kind of go to different bits at the beach. You land on a beach, and so you've got different bits. But pressing the Y button, it instantly brings the camera up above, and then you can select your guys and then select them to move different points. Select them to go into cover like that, like a typical RTS game. Press your Y button, zooms right into your guy again, so your first person shooter. Absolutely brilliant the way it moves. It was really, really good. The RTS is really, really good when you want to cover quite a lot of distance, because you can just highlight your guys, click on where you want them to go, and they'll just move for you, so you don't have to run all the way there. Absolutely, really, really, I thought it was fantastic the way that worked. It was just instant Y button. And I'd done the first mission easy, so I'd done a mixture of first person and then RTS mode. And then I went and looked to see what kind of score, because here it said it's the E3, it got the best of E3 and all that kind of stuff. And obviously, because the idea was, hadn't finished the game, and people obviously were blown away by this RTS and first person just by pressing a button. But I think the overall mechanics of the game weren't perfect. The AI wasn't perfect. A lot of it was kind of last generation. They spent a lot of time on scenery and the fact that you could go to RTS first person shooter instantly, which is fantastic, works brilliantly, but the rest of the game, the rest of the mechanics kind of lets it down. Although I'm not a game critic in the sense that, you know, you get these kind of film critics or critics that do novels or stuff, because sometimes you enjoy something and the critics pan it, you know what I mean? How many movies are out there do you love that actually, if you look in the Empire magazine or whatever critics, these posh kind of critics, you know, are giving it bad reviews because it's silly ideas or whatever, but you like it. And And I was like that with this. I really liked it at the start. When I'm playing a game, I'm no instantly looking for the AI to see if it's moving, if it's no doing this and no doing that. And I put a game on, if I enjoy it, and I put the game on and I enjoyed it. Whether I would enjoy it further on in the missions, and it might get repetitive and I might get peed off it, but when I played it at the first starting with, I loved it. I thought, this is fantastic. So Raven Squad. I'll blabber on about that for a while, but I really liked it. Well, I liked the first part of it. So we've got Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. What did I get this for? $2.99. Great price. I thought, because that's not an old game. I haven't tried Online Pass. I don't know if that still works. It's not a game I'll be going online anyway, but it's one of these obviously online passes you can. So if I want to go online, I'd have to pay for it. I'm not going to be paying for it. Need for Speed. I think that's not a really decent game because it's made by the Criterion Games, and that's the same it made the Burnout 3 and that, and Burnout 3 was got a 10 out of 10 in one of the magazines. I've just got the new games magazine through, and that was one of the games that shows you games that was the 12 games that they've gave 10 out of 10, and Burnout 3 was one of them. I've got Condemned, which was one of the first games that came out on the Xbox 360, and I had it years ago and I completed it. Really good game, really scary in parts. You know, it's like a psychological thriller type game, like a lot of scary parts in it, a lot of blood, but it's not even just that. It's the case that it's suspense and you're going into dark rooms and then things are popping out in you, and it's really good, and you've got to look for clues and all that kind of stuff. I think that's all I complete. And I've started to play the second one. I mean, I completed that years ago. Driver. I picked this up just recently. This was $4.99. I thought that's an excellent price. It's one of the games I do it all the time. I go in to Castanary, I see a game and I'm thinking that's a decent price, I think. And I kind of know it is, but then I leave it and then I go away and it was $14.99 in game, and then I went online and it was dearer. Went back $4.99. Now this is the special edition, one of those silly special editions, which they need to stop doing. Stop doing them. Either have a collector's edition or no, right? I know they've got a collector's edition because they've got the car, the yellow, whatever it is, a Chrysler or whatever it is. No, a Chrysler. Whatever car that is. Challenge RT, but it'll be something. I know they've got that, but and it's pre-owned, so I thought it doesn't matter, special edition. Oh no, all the codes in here worked, fantastic. I mean, I've got the Uplay thing. That's that lets you play online. Opens up all the different things you can play online. So that was no scratch. So that's in. I've got another code which was, where is it now? It was somewhere. It must have fallen out. There was another card, and you put the code in, and I got the two bonuses. So I got the legendary card, which is the Aston Martin DB5 1963, and I've got the Taxi, which is a challenge in a single player. So you can think a taxi. So it's superb. So I've actually got a pre-owned game, but I got all the downloads for it. So a bonus, superb. The last game here, and I played that already. I played the start of it. Kind of weird. And I think I remember reading that about that. Kind of weird that you're either dead or you're lying on the table because you got crashed, and then he's coming out. And he went into an ambulance, and then you're driving this ambulance, and he comes out of that and zooms back into his own body and all this kind of stuff. So I think I remember reading in a magazine that that's kind of what it is. Your spirit is kind of zooming around to different cars and all that kind of stuff. But Driver. Last game here. Fairly well got this from me at the weekend. And it's Shadows of the Damned. And it's complete. And I've seen this, but I didn't really know what it was. But it's one of those. It's one of the guys that done Resident Evil 4. Because it says here. So it's a thriller from Pseudo51, which is the director of No More Heroes. Mikami, which is the director of Resident Evil 4, and Yamoka Akira Yamaoka, which was the sound director of Silent Hill. So it's a psychologically twisted visual combat. I don't know, but it looks good, decent reviews. So aye, looking forward to playing that. So that's 10 games I've got there. Is that 10 games I've got here? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 games I've got there. Because I forgot you got me another game, but I've already got this one. So that puts me on 269. Which is really, really good actually. I mean, I've done pretty well this November. I know we're coming at the end yet, so I'll do a wee quick review at the end in next week or something. But I've done pretty good in November. I managed to pick up a lot of cheap games at $2.99 and all that kind of stuff. And the games that I thought were decent at $4.99, I'll pay for that, like the Driver and all that. And I managed to get 2 more football games at really cheap price, and that's what I want to pay for the old sports titles. Because there's that many of them, and I'm not going to pay a fortune for the sports titles. I want 99 pence is what I pay. Aye, so thanks for watching, guys, and catch you next time. Cheers.